Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am live again. So, I need to start maybe letting you all know in advance that I'm going live. But as of lately, I don't really have a schedule yet. So, I just sit down and turn the camera on and go live. Actually, was today was my YouTube recording day. So, since I did my YouTube videos, I decided let me go ahead and go live as well. So today I am going to be talking about in person, I guess as in person as I can be virtually, but talking about the things that you can do if you woke up one morning and if your hair started shedding, like, oh my God, you see hair everywhere. It's on the bed, it's in your detangling comb, it's in your detangling brush, it's in the shower, like your hair is just coming out. It's getting thinner and thinner. Your ponytail is getting thinner, your afro puff is getting thinner. What do you do? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before I start talking, allow me to introduce myself to those who do not know me. I am Karen Flowers. I am the owner of Curl House. Curl House is a product line that focuses on scalp care, hair loss, and natural hair. I'm also a trichologist, which means I also specialize in hair loss. So that's me. Oh, I'm a licensed cosmetologist too, but I is retired, but styled hair for years. So I am a licensed cosmetologist as well. So tell me who's in the building. Y'all talk to me. Talk to me in the chat. Where y'all streaming from? Thank you for popping in. I see people are coming in, but where are you streaming from? Give me a shout out. Tell me hello. You all, for those of you who don't sit on a computer and look at the computer and talk, y'all, this is a little weird. I am a people person, so I prefer to be in front of people. But now I just got to do what I got to do. So I'm just standing looking at this computer. It feels nice to when your comments pop up. It's very comforting when someone drops a comment. So thank you for dropping the comment. Let's see. We got Patricia from Chicago. Hey, Chantel. We got quite a bit of snow here in Virginia. A lot of snow. So you in Chicago, I know you are probably used to the snow. We got so much snow and so much ice, y'all. It's crazy and still got it too. So, Patricia in Chicago, you can have this snow and you can have this cold weather because I'm waiting for the spring. But anyway, okay, you all, I'm not going to keep you long. I say that every time I go live, and then I keep going and going. But I wanted to make sure that I popped in here and I told you, or I tell you what you need to do. If you wake up one day and you notice, OMG, my hair is getting thinner. OMG, my hair is shedding more. So let me first explain the difference in terms of shedding or breaking. Shedding is just that the hair is coming out at the root. So you have a whole hair strand, the length of your hair shaft. That's what shedding looks like. Sometimes you might see a little bulb, a little white bulb at the end of that hair strand. That's how you know the hair came out from the root. Whereas hair breaking is the hair is typically shorter. That's pretty much the difference. It's longer or it's shorter. So we're talking about hair, not hair that's broken, hair that actually sheds from the root. Now, shedding from the root is actually normal. So it's normal for your hair to shed. But what happens? It can become abnormal. And when it becomes abnormal, that means it's shedding too much. So your hair grows in cycles. So you have a cycle, the anagen cycle, which is just that. It is the cycle where your hair is growing, and that is normal. Your hair grows, maybe 90% of your hair is growing at once, and then it transitions to a catagen cycle where it's not growing anymore. Your hair bulb, your hair strand becomes disconnected from the bulb, and then it rests. That's the telogen phase. And when it rests, then it falls out. That is completely normal, you all. Your hair sheds every day. Your hair can shed anywhere between 50 to 150 strands per day. That is completely normal. The issue comes in, the issue comes in is when there is a disruption to that normal growth cycle. It is disrupted. And when that normal growth cycle is disrupted, then your hair is going to prematurely go into the telogen phase. That is the shedding phase. And when it prematurely goes into the telogen phase, that's when you experience excessive shedding. So that's the difference. Shedding is normal until it becomes abnormal. So, what we're going to talk about today is that abnormal shedding, when your hair is just shedding too much. I see your questions in the chat. I got you. I'm going to get back to your questions. I see them in the chat. Um, and I'm going to talk to you about it briefly. I promise you, I'm going to try to get through it briefly, but I want to talk to you about abnormal shedding. So again, if you woke up one day and if you notice, oh my God, my ponytail is getting thinner, my hair is getting thinner, you may be experiencing telogen effluvium, which is excessive shedding. And the first thing that you need to do, the first thing I want you to think about, if you realize your hair is getting thinner, I want you to think, what was I doing 2 or 3 months ago? What was I doing? I want you to think back. What were you doing 2 or 3 months ago? Because 2 or 3 months ago, if you have experienced some excessive shedding, it may be due to the first trigger. And that first trigger is major stress. Major stress can trigger this excessive shedding, major stress. And normally when I say stress, I'm not talking about the stress today. Remember, you have to think about what were you doing 2 or 3 months ago, not today, because usually what happens 2 or 3 months ago is going to show up today. So as a trichologist, when I would talk to my clients, I would ask them, hey, what was going on a couple months ago? And normally they can pinpoint the moment or the time or the period or the activity, something that they were doing where they had unusual high amounts of stress. And that is what triggered the shedding. So again, if you all wake up and if you notice that your hair is thinning more, I don't want you to think about what's happening now. I want you to think about what happened 2 or 3 months ago, because that is the thing that probably triggered the stress. So that's the first trigger, major stress. The second thing, and it kind of relates to the first thing, when you're thinking 2 or 3 months ago, you can think, okay, did I have any type of surgery? Even if it was a minor procedure, that could have triggered the stress. And then in addition to that, the next trigger is illness. Did you have a high fever? Were you sick? That triggers the body. That can affect the body. That can trigger this abnormal shedding. And then the one that many of us are probably very familiar with, particularly if you are going through menopause or perimenopause, and that is hormonal shifts. Whew. When there are shifts in the hormones, I tell you, those shifts in the hormones affect the growth cycle and can prematurely put your hair in that telogen phase. So if you have hormonal shifts, that can trigger this excessive abnormal shedding. And then the next one is rapid weight loss. So when we go on these crash diets shock our body. These crash diets, in addition to the diets, weight loss pills or weight loss injections, whatever the case may be, they too shock the body and can cause your hair to prematurely go into this resting phase and can cause excessive shedding. So rapid weight loss, that's also is not just the rapid weight loss shocking the body, but it's also with rapid weight loss. Many times you're not giving your body the nutrition it needs to sustain itself. And in terms of nutrition, your scalp or your hair follicles are the last thing to actually receive nutrients. The hair follicles, the last thing to receive nutrients. So if you're going on a crash diet, or even if you're taking some type of medication that's going to help you lose weight, what you're feeding your body, the nutrition that you're feeding the body is going to support the vital organs the vital organs first. Your hair is last to receive a nutrient. And as a result, your scalp is not getting what it needs. So you may be experiencing thinning or shedding. Medication changes can cause shedding and thinning. So if you go on a new medication or if you go off a medication, that can affect your hair, or even hormone pills like birth control pills. I've had women who started the birth control or stopped the birth control and they noticed their hair was shedding from medication. And then chronic scalp inflammation of the scalp. When the scalp is inflamed, that can cause shedding, because I want you to think about, in terms of your follicle, think of it like inflammation choking the follicle. It's choking the follicle, so the follicle is not able to get the nutrients and the oxygen it needs to produce hair and to sustain hair growth. Therefore, you can experience shedding. All right, another trigger, you all, thyroid changes. High thyroid, low thyroid, that can trigger this chronic shedding. Then there are nutrition issues. I talked about that earlier. Iron, not just iron, many nutrients. When your body is not getting proper supplementation, then, and these deficiencies, then that can cause, it can be a trigger to shedding. And then many times, you all, if you are experiencing a lot of shedding, sometimes that shedding is just unmasking a bigger issue. So some of us may be dealing with actual hair loss disorders, and the hair is shedding, continuously shedding. It is just unmasking a bigger issue, another hair loss pattern. So those are the 10 things that, if you start to experience any one of these 10 things, or let me restate that. If you are noticing that your hair is shedding, remember, for those of you all who are popping on now, many times when you are experiencing excessive shedding today, you have to go back and think 2 or 3 months. What were you doing 2 or 3 months ago? Because any of those things that I listed that you were doing 2 or 3 months ago, it's going to show up in your hair now. So the first thing, you all, if you're noticing that your hair is shedding out, I want you to look at this list again. Go down the list. You can do it right at home and determine, am I dealing with any of these things? And if you are, the way to first combat the shedding is internally. So again, if you're dealing with stress, that's the easy one. If you know that you are completely stressed out, right, and your hair is shedding, then it is nothing that you can put on your hair that you can put on your scalp that's going to address your stress. You have to figure out a way to manage the stress. Yes, next I'll talk about topical ways to manage that shedding. But before you even get to the topical external stuff, you really have to address the internal issue. If you are completely stressed out, it is no product that you can put on your scalp that's going to stop your hair from shedding, if it's shedding due to unmanaged stress, you all. So this year, at Curl House, we're growing differently. We're really focusing on healing our body, healing our mind, and healing our scalp. So it is going to be key that you come up with some type of stress management technique to manage that stress, you all. It works. My favorite go-to stress management is prayer. It's just what I do. It's just who I am. I just, praying just relaxes me. Praying and meditation, meaning I do a lot of praying, aka a lot of talking, but the meditation part requires me to get quiet and do a lot of listening. I tell you, the meditation part is a little harder than the praying part, because if y'all haven't figured it out, y'all, I can talk all day. That's the easy part. But getting quiet and listening, whew, that's not as easy, but I do it. But that's my stress management technique. There are many things that you can do. You can exercise. Exercise has all kinds of benefits, but exercise is a form of stress management. What are some of the things that y'all do to maintain your stress? Some people read. Like I used to read like novels, but now everything I read is relevant to growing a business, or I don't even read as much about hair care as much, but relevant to growing my business. But back in the day, I used to read and it was so relaxing. Now it's not so much, but there are so many things that you can do to manage your all stress. If you're not doing it, just pick one. So, anyway, if your hair is thinning out, I want you to think about these 10 triggers to shedding. Identify what you may be dealing with, even if it's, for example, the rapid weight loss. For example, your rapid weight loss might be, you may be deficient in nutrients. What can you add back to your nutrition that's going to help to stabilize your body? So you really have to take this list and identify what you are dealing with. These are the 10 triggers to shedding. Let's see, Miss Patricia, you said you do pray even over your hair. Yes, Miss Patricia, you pray over your hair and you exercise too. Yes, y'all know I pray over my hair. I have, when people purchase my Curl House products, I send out a prayer card with each order. That is a prayer for hair growth and restoration. I'm looking at it right here. So, yes, I pray. You can pray over everything. So, absolutely. All right. So, after you have identified these triggers, this most of this stuff is internal. If it requires you to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. Get some blood work. See what's going on with your thyroid. See what you are deficient in internally. So if you need to see a trichologist, see a trichologist. Identify the trigger and address it. That's the first thing that you do in terms of internal. Secondly, the second thing that you're going to do after you have addressed the internal issues with your shedding, that's when you go external. That's when you go to scalp care, internal and external. So, external, just a few things that you can do externally if you are dealing with excessive shedding. One of the things you can do is to do a green tea rinse. Green tea rinse, meaning it's exactly what it sounds like. Steep some green tea, let it cool off, pour it on your scalp for about 5 minutes, and then rinse it out and then shampoo your hair. A green tea has so many benefits for the scalp. It's also in green tea is a DHT blocker. So DHT, dihydrotestosterone, many times DHT can affect our hair cycle. It can affect our scalp. It can cause excessive shedding. Too much DHT can cause hair loss. So a green tea will help with that. So you can do a green tea rinse on the scalp to help mitigate some of that shedding. And in addition to that, you can do I jumped to green tea and I forgot to talk about make sure that you are cleansing your scalp. So if you're dealing with shedding, you all do not stop cleansing your hair. I know it can be difficult. Um, when your hair is shedding and you don't want to do anything to it, you don't want to wash it, you don't want to touch it because you actually have to face like the hair coming out. But let me tell you this, whether or not you wash it or not, the hair is still going to shed. It has nothing to do with the hair shedding. But when you're cleansing your scalp, you want to keep that scalp clean. You want to keep it clean. A healthy hair starts with a healthy scalp. So don't stop washing your hair. Again, whether or not you wash it or not, the hair is still shedding. But if your scalp is clean, you are creating the environment to produce healthy hair. So keep the scalp clean, do a green tea rinse, and it's a green tea rinse is exactly what I said. It is essentially putting green tea on the scalp, letting it sit. There are many benefits of a green tea rinse. And then in terms of scalp care, you can apply products to your hair, botanically based products in particular, that have many benefits for the scalp that help to reduce some of the inflammation on the scalp and help to encourage growth. And of course, one such product is the Healer Follicle Stimulating Drops. You can apply these to the scalp, massage them in to help mitigate some of that shedding, you all. This is It's just like it's my baby product. Okay, yes, it's my favorite. It is. It has so many benefits. The healer follicle stimulating drops, but you can apply them to the scalp to mitigate some of that shedding and to encourage growth. But as I said earlier, external scalp support without internal support doesn't make sense, you all. They go hand in hand. You need both. But if your hair is shedding from something simple as stress, it is nothing that you can put on your scalp that's going to manage your stress, which is why you have to, you all. We are growing differently. I need you all to think about your hair as an extension of your body. Think differently about your hair. Your hair is an extension of your body. What's happening in here affects what's going on up here. So yes, while these healer drops have many benefits for thinning and for shedding, placing something on your scalp without addressing the root issue doesn't make sense, y'all. Y'all know I got to keep it real. So that is why I gave you this list of these triggers, these 10 triggers to shedding. And if you look at this whole list is internal. Everything is internal. These are the things that may be triggering your thinning hair. These are the things that may be triggering your excessive shedding. So make sure you address the root issue first, the trigger. Then you can move on to the external scalp care, because you still need external scalp care. So I'm not minimizing the importance of external scalp care, but I'm just emphasizing the fact that you need both. Get to the root cause. And those triggers, again, typically this is the root cause of why you're dealing with excessive shedding. Now, this list is not exhaustive, because I'm seeing some comments too. It's not exhaustive now. I mean, I can probably think of another 10 other things, but these are the top 10 that I have experienced. Okay, you all, I wanted to make sure that I pop up here and that I share this with you and give you an opportunity to ask me any questions. Let's see. Is there okay, I'm going to answer your questions. Let's see. Let me pop in. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate it. I have some fabulous people scheduled, you all, for the upcoming weeks. Let's see, Tiana, your hair is breaking and brittle in the middle of my head and going up. Why? Okay, let me read that again, Miss Tiana, or Tion. My hair is breaking and brittle in the middle of my head and going up. So that can mean many things. So when you say in the middle, I'm going to say the crown. It is so many reasons your hair could be breaking in the crown. As a matter of fact, Tion, I just did a video maybe last week or 2 weeks ago that's all about breakage in the crown. But it's many reasons your hair could be breaking in the crown. It could be one, a sign. If it's tender in the crown, if it's itchy in the crown, it might be an underlying issue. So crown breakage, particularly if it's a lot of inflammation, it could be an underlying issue. I don't want to scare you. I'm just giving you some general information. It could be an underlying hair loss disorder. If it's itchy and if it's tender, if it's not, it may not be that. Breakage in the crown can be due to the hair being super dry. So the crown area, the hair in that area is a little bit different from what's all over. So that area can be drier in the middle. So when the hair is extremely dry and brittle, it is more prone to breakage. So make sure when you are moisturizing your hair, make sure that you spend more time in this area. And make sure you put more moisturizer, more oil in that area if it's drier and if it's brittle. Or it could be you are sitting under a hooded dryer that's very hot. If you're sitting under a hooded dryer, what area gets dries the fastest and gets exposed to the most heat? the top part of your head. So if your hair is breaking off in the middle, then it could be from excessive heat from the hooded dryer, for example. Another reason the hair may be getting weaker in the middle could be from some of the things that I mentioned earlier about the mineral deficiencies and vitamin deficiencies within. Typically, it may show up right here in this area. So the main one, check your iron as well. If you're getting breakage in this area, it could be because of that too. So those are the top three that I can think of off the top. Um, Breakage in that area. The breakage and thinning, kind of two different words. Breakage, again, is the hair will grow out and break off. And it may break off due to what due to mechanical reasons or due to lack of moisture. That could be the reason as well. So I talked about that. Lack of moisture, make sure you're adding more moisturizing, heavier moisturizing products in that area because the texture is different in the middle. I remember when I first went natural, whew, it's been 2008. That's a long time. That's almost 20 years, 18 years. When I first went natural 18 years ago and I cut all my hair off and my hair was super curly. It was curls were popping everywhere, but the top part of my hair, it was like not. It was dry. It was not curly. I didn't know what to do with it. 18 years ago, I put a texturizer in it. Oh, yes, I'll say it now. I didn't say it then, but I put some texturizer in that middle part of my hair. I didn't realize that was just my natural hair. I didn't realize that area was drier naturally. So if your hair is drier naturally, then that just means you may need to put a little more product in it to make it more moisturizing in that area. And also, again, check what's going on internally. Deficiencies within your body can affect the crown area. Vitamin D as well. If your vitamin D is low, then that can affect the crown area as well. And also, if there is an underlying issue, many times a broken crown could be a sign of a hair loss disorder. So I suggest if it's really bad, then you can definitely see a dermatologist or a trichologist, or again, step up your moisture in that area. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm coming on every week, Evangelist. I don't have a set time yet, but I just said, you know what, this year I'm going live every week. So I'm doing it. Let's see. So, Miss Patricia, you just come off 7 years of sister locks and your hair is so thin. 7 years of sister locks, that is a long time. Your hair is so thin. See, the thing with sister locks and locks as well, like sometimes they like mask the true density of your hair. Because when your hair is locked, so I'm talking about shedding. So I've been giving you some tips on what to do if your hair is shedding. With locks, your hair still sheds. So all that hair, I said earlier, your hair can shed anywhere from 50 to 150 strands per day. That's a lot of hair. Now you've had sister locks for 7 years. So you have hundreds of thousands of shed hair that is still that stayed on your hair shaft in the lock. So it made your hair thicker. Well, it made it appear thicker because all of your shed hair just stayed in the lock. So now you cut your sister locks off and your hair is so thin. So I'm not saying that your hair has not gotten thinner naturally, but when you have locks, it just makes your hair look thicker, if that makes sense. So some of the things that we're talking about, Miss Patricia, when you're dealing with thinning hair, then you have to first let me put that list. Let me put it. Well, this list is more specific to thinning hair. I mean, to shedding, but these are some of the things that you can do. The main thing that I'm going to recommend that you do is always focus on what's going on internal. See what's going on within your body. See if you're nutrient deficient in any area, right? See if you're nutrient deficient in any area. We're growing differently, so we're focusing on our lifestyle as well in terms of what we're eating. You all, food is just food is what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, I'm about to say food is just food for the hair strands, but not just food. Proper, healthy, nutritious food feeds your hair follicle, right? So many times, if your hair is thinner, sometimes the hair that actually emerges from the root or from the follicle is thinner because it's not being properly nourished on the inside. So what you see on the outside is an extension of what's going on the inside. So when we're focusing on our healthier foods are whole foods, then you will notice a difference in the health and the robustness of your hair strands that actually come out. So some people, their hair will grow, but it will grow and it will break off very quickly because the strand in and of itself lacks the nutrients. Which is also why, because I know Miss Patricia, you said some here at some point you'll be purchasing the products. That's also why, in terms of these healer drops, it's like nutrition in a bottle. Like the ingredients, when you look at the botanicals in it, it is literally nutrition in a bottle. And it's so healthy. Now, I wouldn't suggest you eat it, but it is safe enough for you to ingest. But it's taking the nutrition or vitamins and it's putting it directly to your scalp. And that is what your scalp needs in part to grow and produce healthy hair. You want the hair that comes out, you want that hair to be healthy. You want it to be nutrient dense. So that's what the healer drops do. It is your vitamins in a bottle that goes directly to your scalp. And it makes a difference in the hair that actually grows. It really makes a difference in the health of the hair that comes out when you apply these healer drops. This is a part of the Curl House collection as well. Those drops. So, and for those of you who are interested in it, I got a little banner. You can get, let me just let that go right there. I always get 15% off for my YouTube family. Okay, guys, let's see. I'm still, let's see. I'm glad that you're good with the health part. No, they're on Amazon, but not anymore. They were, but I took them off of Amazon. So you can actually go directly to my website, Miss Patricia, curlhouse.com. And they're bundles too. So some of the products are bundled together. And it's more than just, I have more than just that. I was talking to somebody about moisturizing the hair. This is something else that I carry. It's called the Sealer. It's a super moisture cream. It is great for the winter season because it is so dry outside, but it is a moisturizing butter. So moisturizing and hydrating because it has water in it, but it also has different butters in it to really lock in and seal in the moisture. It's great for this season, you all, because it's cold out. And you're just as that cold wind is affecting your skin, making it drier, it's doing the same thing for your hair. Okay, let's see. Cindy, you're 20 years and oh, you're cutting your locks off due to CCCA health issues. So this person has CCCA, which is a hair loss disorder that typically you'll see it right here in the scalp. Central, centrifugal, cicatricial alopecia. Central meaning is in the middle. Centrifugal meaning it radiates out. Cicatricial, scarring alopecia, hair loss. In other words, it is a scarring hair loss. It is an inflammatory type of hair loss. It's a hair loss if you are dealing with itching, if you are dealing with burning. I know Tion said the hair is shorter in the top. If it's itching, if it's burning, if your hair is breaking off, you need to see a dermatologist immediately because this type of hair loss is very aggressive. And it's a type of hair loss that will destroy your hair follicle. And once the hair follicle is no longer viable, then the hair may not grow back. So if you are experiencing that, please go and get help immediately. So if you're dealing with it, you're cutting your locks off and you're going to address your health issues, I think that's amazing that that's what you're going to do. Sometimes when you cut the locks off, you are removing the weight from your hair follicle. So I talked about it earlier when your hair is thinning, when your hair is shedding and when you're locked, the hair just stays in your hair shaft, and locks over time can get very, very heavy. So if you are someone who is locking your hair, who've had locks for 5, 10, 20 years, as a practitioner, I would see so many people with locks and their hair starting to thin. I'm not saying that the locks is the cause of the thinning, because as you know, there are many reasons your hair could be thinning. But if your locks are heavy, that is putting weight on the follicle. And that weight on the follicle could be the reason your hair is thinning out. So thank you for bringing that up. We wish you well on your hair restoration journey. Cindy, there are so many things that you can do. I'm hoping that you are with a dermatologist or a trichologist, that you are taking a holistic approach to addressing your hair loss and your health issues. But you got this. Stay patient, be consistent in your process. You got it. And good for you that you are addressing it. Okay, let's see. Is there a recommended something while going through this shedding phase? Oh, Cindy, you didn't complete that. Is there a recommended while you're going through this shedding phase? I'm trying to figure that out, Cindy, but if you're still on, I don't know what you're asking. Is there a recommended something? Is there a recommended what? Is there a recommended product? Is there a recommended length of time? Um, so I'm gonna wait to see if you're still up here for you to answer this question, because I want to answer your question. I'm just not sure what you're asking. Okay, well, while I'm waiting for Cindy, let me check to see if we have any other questions. I think we're good tonight. We don't have many questions. All right, Cindy, I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes so I can answer your question. Um, but I just wanted to, you all, I wanted to pop in here, and I want to really express to you all, if you're dealing with thinning, if you're dealing with shedding, address it immediately. Like, I know, I get it. It can be so hard to look in the mirror when your hair is thinning out, when your hair is shedding out, and you don't even want to look at it. You want to hide it. I get it. You don't want to address it. I've been there, believe it or not. I have experienced hair loss. I do have a hair loss disorder that I manage. I know you can't see it, but I manage it. I manage it topically with products that I apply, and I manage it internal through lifestyle. And that is my philosophy of growing differently, taking a different approach to your hair care by addressing your body care. So I do manage it. So if you're dealing with any type of hair loss, thinning, hair issues, I encourage you again to take this two-pronged approach, both internal and external, and address it as early as possible. Address it as early as possible. Okay, you all. All right. I don't know if Miss Cindy is still up here because I don't see her anymore, but she had a question and I couldn't answer it. Okay, you all. I'm not going to be up here late tonight. I just wanted to pop in and kind of go over those 10 triggers to shedding. And again, okay, let's see. Wait, the question just popped in. Let's see. What is your website for your hairline? It is curlhouse.com. Do y'all see that little ticker at the bottom? I'm trying to use all these fancy features. The website, let me put it right here. This is the website, curlhouse.com. This is where you can get my Curl House collection of products. So since you all asked, I'll go ahead and share it with you. I have a collection of products, shampoo, conditioner, leave-in conditioner, moisture cream, leave-in conditioner, and scalp drops. And this is a collection of products that I created, in 2019. And at that time in 2019, I had my own trichology practice, and I had the products and I just sold them to my clients who were dealing with scalp issues. So I didn't sell them to the masses, because what I did, I made sure that my products, that my clients had a full holistic treatment plan. So we worked on both their body and their hair. So I created the product line specifically for women who had dry hair, so naturally textured hair, had scalp issues, so who were dealing with hair loss or dry, itchy scalp or dandruff or inflammation. That's why I created the product. So I don't have a styling product in my collection yet because I was really focusing on products that will help to hair grow, products that will help you to retain your length, and products that will heal your scalp. And this product, the healer, is the first product that I released. And this is like the anchor product because it is like, I don't know. I call it vitamins in a bottle, nutrition in the bottle. And it's something that you can use if you're dealing with slow growing hair, if you're dealing with hair loss. It is the products that I used on all of my clients. And that was back in 2019. Since then, after 2019, 2020 came along and everything closed down. And that's in 2020 is when I launched the products to the masses. And I was reluctant to do that at first, just to be honest, because I've never been the type of person where, as a trichologist, I know that your hair is an extension of your body. And I know that products have their place. And I did not want to be that person that just said, hey, if you're dealing with hair loss, just buy this. This is all you need. It's just like my integrity just wouldn't allow me to say that. That was just a lie. I just couldn't do it. So I was very reluctant to promote my products. Even on YouTube, I'm very active on YouTube, and I don't even have I don't think I really started talking about my products, quite honestly, to maybe last year, because I'm so passionate about teaching people about their whole everything, not just products. But anyway, so the website is curlhouse.com. My hair salon, I used to have a natural hair salon that was called Curl House. So I no longer have the hair salon, but now Curl House is a collection of products. So you can go to curlhouse.com to check out the entire collection. And it's full of botanicals. It's a botanically based, plant-based product line that I initially formulated myself. So yes, I was right up in the kitchen. I wanted to know every ingredient. I looked up every ingredient. I wanted to make sure there were no ingredients that compromised our health. So there are some ingredients that are endocrine disruptors that affect our body. I needed to know everything that was going in the product line. So the initial collection, I literally made everything myself. Since then, I have moved on to a manufacturer who I work with, who will be live with me next week. We are going to be talking about whether or not greasing the scalp is healthy. So that's next Wednesday. We'll be talking about that with my chemist. But anyway, that's why I created the product line. So curlhouse.com. If you have not checked my products out yet, you can use code YT15 on individual products, but not on bundles. Bundles are already recommended. Bundles are already bundled together. Okay, let me see. Let me get a few more questions in here. Is excessive dandruff usually a sign of inflammation, and can it make CCC worse? Yes, excessive dandruff is absolutely a sign of inflammation. And yes, it can make it worse because it's inflammation. It's creating more inflammation. And when you have CCCA, you want to minimize the inflammation on the scalp. So if you have excessive dandruff, many times excessive dandruff it can be an overproduction of yeast on the scalp. It can be an imbalance on the scalp, which is why if you have excessive dandruff, I do not recommend that you constantly put oils on your scalp and grease your scalp, because you're only feeding the yeast. So oils on the scalp, I'll be talking about this next week with my chemist, putting a whole bunch of oil and a whole bunch of grease. You're feeding the yeast, you're feeding the bacteria, you're exacerbating the damage. The dandruff on your scalp. Side note, that is why these is not oil. That's why I created my scalp care product that is water-based, because so many people deal with so many issues of the scalp, and putting a lot of oils on the scalp only make it worse. But yes, it is a sign of inflammation, and it can make the CCC worse. And it's going to be key that you cleanse that area regularly. So for my clients, if they had CCCA for a particular period of time, I would recommend that they get in the habit of cleansing their scalp twice a week. Now, this is a general recommendation. Let me make note of that. But particularly if that area is very inflamed and if that CCCA is active, then you need to calm that inflammation. So you need to cleanse your scalp. So you make sure you are cleansing the scalp. The best thing that you can do when you have dandruff is to cleanse your scalp. I said it earlier, cleanse your scalp. If you have dandruff, if you have seborrheic dermatitis, you have to keep that area clean, remove some of the buildup, and that is going to help mitigate that inflammation topically. And again, applying products topically will help to reduce that inflammation, which is also what the healer does as well. Okay. Let's see, you use a minoxidil. Yeah, you don't like the effect of it, so I'm not taking the Bobby Oatmeal products tonight. You are very welcome, Miss Patricia. All right. What is the discount code? The discount code, I guess y'all not seeing my little triggers, the trigger, whatever this thing is. The discount code is YT15 for my products, which is YouTube 15, which is 15% off. Let me put it back up here. YT15 for 15% off, but it excludes the bundles. So if you look at the website, the bundles are already discounted. So you can't use the code on a bundle because it's already discounted, but you can definitely use it on individual products. Okay, I think I have, let's see. All right, I think I have successfully answered everyone's questions. Yay! Okay, guys, thank you all for joining me this evening. I will be going live next week, I believe is next Wednesday, and I will have my chemist with me next Wednesday, and we are going to talk about greasing your scalp. Should you be greasing the scalp? Should you be oiling the scalp? What y'all think? Well, we're going to have an in-depth conversation with her about that. Okay, y'all have a fabulous day, fabulous weekend. Stay cool for those of you who are freezing like me. Hold on, wait a minute. I got to address this. Yes, cleansing the scalp with apple cider vinegar and your scalp doesn't itch much at all. Yes, you can absolutely do an ACV rinse on your scalp. Oh, that is perfect to help mitigate that itching. Apple cider vinegar, I talk about that all the time on my channel. So that is fabulous. Okay, guys, I will be seeing you all next Wednesday. I believe it's next Wednesday at, I think, 6 or 6:30. I'm going to try to let y'all know in advance. I'm going to try to post it in advance as opposed to just jumping online and going live like I've been doing without notice. But anyway, I am going to let you know in advance. But I will see you all next week. You all have a fabulous weekend. And as I always say, as I finish out my video, stay fabulous. Until we talk again, stay fabulous. Okay, bye. Love y'all. Bye-bye.